Welcome back to the deep dive. This is where we take the sources you send us and really dig into them.
That's right.
And today we're looking at Western astrology. We got a PDF guide, Astrology Quick Study Home, from one of you. Thanks for that.
Yeah, great resource. So our mission today is basically to give everyone a solid, engaging overview. We'll cover the history, the different types, the core concepts.
Without getting totally lost in the weeds, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
We know some of you might know a lot already, others maybe just your sun sign. We want this to be interesting for everyone.
Okay, cool. So let's start at the beginning. What is Western astrology, fundamentally?
Well, at its core, it's the study of celestial movements. Planets, stars, and how their positions are thought to connect with, well, with us humans and events down here on Earth.
Okay, and it's not new, right?
Oh, definitely not. It's ancient. It really came together during the Hellenistic period, which was a couple of thousand years ago, like a melting pot of ideas from Egypt, Babylon, and Greece.
A melting pot. I like that. So it's got quite a history then.
It really does.
Yeah.
It's fascinating, actually. During the Middle Ages, when things were a bit quiet in Western Europe, knowledge-wise, astrology was actually kept alive and even developed further.
Oh, really? By who?
By scholars in Persia, the Arab world, Jewish communities too, and even some Western philosophers and monks were involved in preserving it. Then, boom, the Renaissance hits Europe, and astrology makes a huge comeback. It was pretty influential back then.
Wow. So it wasn't always fringe stuff?
Not at all. It waxed and waned, of course.
Yeah.
Dipped a bit, then saw another revival in the 19th century with groups like the Theosophical Society, Rosicrucians, that kind of occult interest.
Right. I've heard of some of those.
And then more recently, say late 20th century, there's been a big push to rediscover and translate the older Hellenistic and Renaissance texts, making those techniques popular again.
So a long, winding road. Now, the source mentions 4 main branches or ways people use astrology. Can we walk through those?
Sure. First up is mundane astrology. This is actually the oldest form, even older than that Hellenistic blend we talked about.
Older. How far back are we talking?
We're talking roots in ancient Egyptian religious timing and Babylonian skywatching for omens, pre-400 BCE stuff.
Sky watching for omens. Okay. So what does mundane astrology focus on?
It's all about the big picture. Long-term trends, society, world events. Astrologers doing this look at things like eclipses, major planetary cycles like Jupiter and Saturn. They're really slow movers like Uranus, Neptune, Pluto.
So it's like forecasting for countries, not people.
Pretty much, yeah.
Go.
Decades, centuries even. Studying how these big cycles might impact human society, international relations. You can combine it with individual charts, like a leader's chart, if you have one.
Interesting.
And the source mentions using the Aries ingress chart. That's the chart cast for the moment the sun enters Aries each spring to kind of assess a nation's outlook for the year ahead.
Okay, so that's the macro view. What about the micro, the individual level?
Right, that brings us to natal astrology, or sometimes called horoscopic astrology. This is the one that emerged in the Hellenistic era, maybe around 100 BCE.
And this is probably what most people think of, right? Birth charts.
Exactly. It's all about interpreting a chart drawn for the precise moment and place a person is born, their first breath, basically.
That birth data has to be spot on then.
Oh, absolutely critical. Date, exact time, location. Natal astrology uses that snapshot of the sky to explore someone's potential life path. Major themes, health possibilities, personality, the whole shebang.
What if you don't know your exact birth time? I hear that a lot.
It's common. The source notes that some specialist astrologers can actually work backwards, using major life events and personality traits to estimate a time. It's called chart rectification. And natal astrology isn't just static. It uses various timing techniques, transits, progressions, things like that to forecast potential trends and significant periods in a person's life.
Okay, so mundane for the world, natal for the person. What else?
Next is electional astrology. This one's about choosing the right time to start something. It also came up during that Hellenistic period, maybe 100 BCE to 200 CE.
Choosing the right time, like for good luck.
Sort of, yeah. It's about picking an auspicious astrological moment to, say, launch a business, sign a contract, start a journey, even schedule a surgery or a wedding. You create the chart before the event happens.
Ah, so it's proactive. Do you need birth info for this?
Nope, not needed. The chart is for the moment you plan to act. But there are specific rules. Different actions require different kinds of planetary setups for the best chance of success. You can use it for almost anything, really.
Trying to time things just right. Okay, what's the 4th one?
The last one is horary astrology, sometimes called interrogative astrology. This one developed later in the medieval period, around 600 CE or so.
Interrogative, like asking questions.
Exactly. With horary, the astrologer casts a chart for the precise moment they understand a specific question being asked.
The moment the astrologer gets the question, wow.
Yes, and the question needs to be specific, personal, and genuinely pressing for the person asking. Again, no birth data needed. The chart is for the astrologer's time and place.
So how does the chart answer the question?
The astrologer analyzes the chart, looking at specific planets that represent the questioner and the subject matter. These are called significators, their condition, placement aspects, to find the answer.
What kind of questions do people ask?
Oh, all sorts. Will I get the job? Should I buy this house? Where are my lost keys? Is this relationship going anywhere? Theoretically, any specific concern can be addressed.
4 really different approaches. That definitely broadens the picture. Okay, let's shift gears to the chart itself. The source talks about the key components, the basic anatomy, maybe?
Good way to put it. Yeah, the chart is essentially a map of the heavens at a specific time from a specific viewpoint on Earth. One key thing the source points out: the sky looks like it rotates clockwise through the day.
Right, sun rises in the east, sets in the west.
But the planets, over time,
Yeah.
generally move counterclockwise through the zodiac signs on that map. It's an important distinction.
Okay, got it. And these 4 great circles, what are they?
They're like the fundamental grid lines. You've got the horizon, obviously separating the visible sky from the Earth. Then the ecliptic, that's the path the sun appears to travel across the sky over the year. It's the path that defines the zodiac belt.
Right.
Then there's the meridian, an imaginary line running north-south, passing directly overhead the zenith and directly underfoot the nadir. And finally, the prime vertical, which also passes through the zenith and nadir, but runs east-west. These create the basic structure for placing everything.
So they divide up the sky. And where they intersect, we get the 4 angles.
Precisely. And these are super important points in any chart. First is the ascendant, or ask.
Yeah.
That's the point on the ecliptic that's literally rising on the eastern horizon at that moment. Think beginnings, how you appear.
Okay.
Then high up you have the midheaven, or MC.
Yeah.
This is where the ecliptic crosses the meridian above the horizon. It relates to career, public image, your highest point, like the sun at noon.
Makes sense.
Opposite the ascendant, setting in the west, is the descendant, or DEC. This relates to partnerships, relationships, how you interact with the other. And opposite the midheaven, down at the bottom, is the coeli, or icy.
Coeli.
Latin for bottom of the sky. It's where the ecliptic crosses the meridian below the horizon. It represents home, roots, family, ancestry, your private base.
Yeah.
Like the sun at midnight.
Ascendant, midheaven, descendant, icy, east, south, west, north, kind of. That helps visualize it. Then the zodiac itself, the circle of signs.
Yeah, this is probably the part most people know best. It's that ecliptic path divided into 12 equal slices, each 30 degrees wide. Named after constellations, though, as we'll see, they don't perfectly align anymore.
12 signs, 30 degrees each. Adds up to 360.
Exactly. And we measure planetary positions along this circle using zodiacal longitude. Aries, Taurus, Gemini, those are the 12 signs.
Okay. And the source mentions planet and point glyphs and aspect lines. What are those?
The glyphs are just the symbols, the shorthand, used on the chart to show where the planets are, like the little circle for the sun, crescent for the moon, etc. It also mentions points like the lunar nodes and RX, which means retrograde.
Retrograde, when a planet looks like it's going backwards.
Yeah, from our perspective on Earth, it doesn't actually reverse orbit, but it looks that way, and it's seen as having a different kind of influence. Then the aspect lines are lines drawn between planets on the chart.
What do they show?
They show specific geometric angles between the planets. These angles are called aspects, and each one suggests a different kind of relationship or interaction between the planetary energies, like a conversation, maybe.
Okay.
And the source notes an interesting rule. Only planets make aspects. Points, like the ascendant or midheaven, only receive aspects from planets. There's also usually an aspect matrix or grid listed nearby, showing all the aspects at a glance.
Gotcha. And the last piece of the chart anatomy, house lines or cusps.
Right. These lines divide the whole circle chart into 12 segments, called houses. Each house represents a different area or domain of life experience. People, places, activities, pretty much everything fits into one of the houses.
Okay, so the basic building blocks are coming together. Let's talk more about the planets. You said they're the main actors.
Absolutely. Astrology really comes alive through the planets. Their
Yeah.
movement, their interactions via aspects, their inherent natures. That's what drives the interpretation. They're mostly named after Greco-Roman deities, though names vary across cultures.
And they measure change.
They're the primary way we track change, yeah.
Yeah.
In the sky and supposedly in life. And traditional astrology holds that everything on Earth has a planetary association, a ruler.
Interesting. Now, what's this about sex? Diurnal and nocturnal? Like day and night teams?
Kind of. It's a traditional distinction. The diurnal or daytime team includes the Sun, Jupiter, and Saturn. They're often associated with reason, cognition, more outward things. The nocturnal or nighttime team is the Moon, Venus, and Mars, linked more to intuition, emotion, embodied knowledge, more receptive things.
And Mercury.
Mercury's the adaptable one, plays for both teams depending on the context. Now, the outer planets, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, discovered much later, they aren't part of this traditional sect system. They're usually seen as more generational influences.
Okay, 2 teams in the outers. Can we get a quick keyword rundown for the original 7 traditional planets?
Sure. Let's go from slowest to fastest. Saturn, think structure, limits, responsibility, discipline, time, maturity.
Okay, the serious one.
Often, yeah. Jupiter, expansion, optimism, luck, wisdom, abundance, justice, growth. The greater benefic.
Nice.
Active energy, drive, courage, desire, but also aggression, conflict, severance.
Yeah.
The lesser malefic.
Got it.
Active side, core vitality, identity, purpose, consciousness, authority, ego, the life giver.
Central.
Venus, love, beauty, harmony, relationships, pleasure, art, values. The lesser benefic,
The pleasant one.
usually. Mercury, communication, thinking, learning, logic, adaptability, movement, trade. The messenger.
Quick.
And finally, the moon. Emotions, instincts, subconscious, habits, nurturing deeds. The public, daily rhythms, reflects the sun's light.
That's a great cheat sheet. Now, about those outer planets and non-planetary points. Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, Chiron, the nodes. You said they're more modern additions?
Generally, yes. They aren't typically used in strictly traditional forms of astrology, but they're standard in most modern Western practice. Uranus is often linked to disruption, innovation, rebellion. Neptune with spirituality, illusion, confusion, compassion. Pluto with transformation, power, death, and rebirth. Chiron is often called the wounded healer.
And the lunar nodes.
Right, the north node and south node. They're mathematical points where the moon's orbit crosses the ecliptic. Our source mentions the north node is often interpreted as a point of growth, destiny, what we're moving towards, while the south node represents past patterns, comfort zones, things we need to release or integrate. They're always directly opposite each other.
Okay, so the traditional 7 for personal stuff, the outers for bigger shifts, and the nodes for direction. Let's talk zodiac signs more, the backdrop for all this action.
Exactly. The zodiac is the symbolic landscape. It's the main reference grid for tracking planetary movement, derived, as we said, from the sun's apparent path against the backdrop of stars.
And mostly we use the tropical zodiac in the West.
Primarily, yes. It starts at 0 degrees Aries, which is defined by the vernal equinox, the first moment of spring in the northern hemisphere. This system aligns the signs with the seasons. 12 signs, 30 degrees each.
But there's also a sidereal zodiac.
Yes. Some Western astrologers use it, and it's the standard in Indian Jyotish astrology. It's calculated differently, often trying to align more closely with the actual constellations. There are various calculation methods called ayanamsas for where it starts. It's a different framework.
Okay, sticking with tropical, each sign has an element and a modality.
Correct. The 4 elements: fire, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius; earth, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn; air, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius; and water, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, describe the basic energy type.
Okay.
The 3 modalities, cardinal, Aries, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn; fixed, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius; and mutable, Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, Pisces, describe how that energy operates. Cardinal signs initiate, fixed signs sustain, mutable signs adapt.
Element and modality. Got it.
Each sign also has ruling planets associated with it, parts of the body, even types of places or environments. Useful, especially in horary.
And these other descriptive labels, humane, bestial, fertile, barren.
Yeah, those are older traditional classifications that add more nuance, like Gemini's humane or human-like, intellectual. Taurus is bestial, more instinctual. Leo is feral, wild, dominant. Cancer is fertile, nurturing. Virgo is barren, perhaps more analytical or less overtly productive in a literal sense. There's also strong-voiced, mute, etc., hinting at expression styles.
Adds layers. Can we do a super quick keyword for each sign, just a flavor?
Okay, lightning round. Aries, initiator, bold, impulsive. Taurus, grounded, sensual, stubborn. Gemini, curious, communicative, restless. Cancer, nurturing, protective, moody.
Okay.
Leo, confident, dramatic, generous. Virgo, analytical, helpful, critical. Libra, Charming, diplomatic, indecisive. Scorpio, intense, secretive, transformative.
Saffron.
Sagittarius, adventurous, optimistic, philosophical. Capricorn, ambitious, disciplined, responsible. Aquarius, innovative, independent, humanitarian. Pisces, compassionate, imaginative, elusive.
Done. Phew.
Right.
Okay, on to houses, slices of life. These divide up the chart.
Right. 12 segments representing different areas of life. They're numbered 1 to 12, starting from the ascendant and going counterclockwise. They relate to the apparent daily motion of the planets across the sky, rising near the first house cusp, culminating near the 10th, setting near the 7th, anti-culminating near the 4th.
And there are different ways to calculate these house divisions.
Yes, house systems. Big debate sometimes. Broadly, there are sign-based systems, like whole sign houses where each sign is a house starting from the sign of the ascendant, or equal houses where each house is exactly 30 degrees from the ascendant degree.
Okay.
Then there are quadrant systems, which are more common in modern use. Placid is probably the most popular. Others include Koch, Porphyry, Regiomontanus, Campanus. These use the ascendant and midheaven as key anchors and divide the intervening arcs. They often result in houses of unequal size in terms of degrees.
So different maps for the same territory, essentially.
Kind of, yeah. But regardless of system, the ascendant always marks the start of the first house, the IC the 4th, the descendant the 7th, and the MC the 10th.
And each house has a ruler, like the signs.
It does. The ruler of the house is the planet that rules the zodiac sign, sitting on the cusp, the starting line of that house. That planet has a say over the affairs of that house.
But planets in the house matter more.
Often, yes. The source highlights this. A planet physically located in a house usually gets prioritized in interpretation over just the house ruler, especially if the ruler is somewhere else entirely. Think occupants versus landlord.
Got it. And this angularity concept, angular, succedent, cadent.
Right. It refers to a house's position relative to those 4 main angles. Ask ICDC. Angular houses 1st, 4th, 7th, 10th are considered the most powerful, active, visible areas. Planets here have strong expression.
Okay. Prime real estate.
You could say that. Succeedant houses 2nd, 5th, 8th, 11th literally succeed the angles. They're seen as secondary in strength, areas of resources or consolidation.
Second tier.
And cadent houses 3rd, 6th, 9th, 12th fall away from the angles. They're considered the least overtly powerful, often linked to mental processes, service, hidden things, or things that are less stable. The source also mentions that each traditional planet has a house where it finds its joy, a place it particularly likes to be.
Interesting. Okay, quick themes for the 12 houses.
Let's try. First,
Yeah.
self, identity, appearance, beginnings. Second, money, possessions, values, resources. Third, communication, siblings, short trips, local area, early learning. Fourth, home, family, roots, ancestors, endings.
Okay, first 4 down.
Fifth, creativity, children, romance, pleasure, fun, self-expression. Sixth, work, service, health, daily routines, employees, small animals. Seventh, partnerships, marriage, contracts, open enemies, consultants. Eighth, shared resources, debt, taxes, inheritance, sex, death, transformation, secrets.
Getting intent.
Can be. Ninth, higher education, philosophy, religion, long-distance travel, foreign cultures, law. 10th, career, public reputation, status, authority figures, achievements. 11th, friends, groups, networks, community, hopes and wishes. 12th, hidden matters, secrets, subconscious institutions, hospitals, prisons, self-undoing, spirituality, hidden enemies, endings before beginnings.
Covers pretty much everything, doesn't it?
That's the idea, a map of all life's arenas.
Now, the source tackles some common misconceptions. Always useful.
Definitely. First, saying my first house is technically incorrect. Houses are locations in the chart wheel. You have planets in your first house or a sign on the cusp of your first house.
Right, it's a place, not a possession.
Exactly. Also, signs and houses aren't the same thing. Aries is a sign, the first house is a house. They might overlap in a chart, but they're distinct concepts.
Okay, good clarification. What else?
The big one, signs versus constellations. Due to the Earth wobble precession, the tropical zodiac signs we use in Western astrology are no longer aligned with the constellations they were named after thousands of years ago.
So, when my horoscope says the sun is in Aries, it's not actually in the constellation Aries.
Probably not, no. The source notes the alignment was closer around 100 BCE, but it shifts about 1 degree every 71-ish years. So tropical Aries now largely overlaps with the constellation Pisces. But if your chart says you're a tropical Aries, you're an Aries according to the system. It's about the seasons, not the distant star patterns.
That explains a lot of confusion.
It does. And finally, this idea of being born on the cusp between 2 signs, like I'm a Taurus-Gemini cusp. The source calls this a mass market invention. The sun, at any given moment, is in one sign or the other, even if it's right near the boundary. It doesn't straddle the line.
No fence sitting for the sun. Good to know. Okay, let's talk aspects, the planets interacting.
Yes, aspects show the geometric relationships, the angles between planets, or from a planet to a key point like the ascendant. The idea comes from old theories about how planets see or influence each other.
How does that work? Applying, perfecting.
Right. When a faster planet is moving towards the exact degree of an aspect with a slower planet, it's applying to the aspect. When it hits the exact degree, the aspect is perfect. As it moves away, it's separating. It's a dynamic flow.
And planets make aspects, points receive them.
That's the traditional rule, yes.
Yep.
Planets actively form these connections. Points like the Ascendant or MC are recipients of that influence. Aspects can be sign-based. Any planet in Aries aspects, any planet Cancer by square, for example, or degree-based within a certain number of degrees in orb. Modern astrology usually focuses on degree-based.
And the major aspects, you mentioned them earlier.
Yes, the 5 traditional Ptolemaic aspects. Conjunction, 0 degrees. Planets blending energies, amplification. Square, 90 degrees. Tension, challenge, dynamic action needed. Opposition, 180 degrees. Polarity, confrontation, awareness of the other. Sextile, 60 degrees. Harmony, opportunity, ease, flow, trine, 120 degrees. Grace, natural talent, comfort, stability.
So some are hard or challenging, square, opposition. Some soft or easy, sextile, trine, and conjunction is intense.
Can be. Depends on the planets involved. And the source also mentions void, of course. Classically, that means a planet makes no more applying aspects before leaving its current sign. It's seen as a period where things initiated might not pan out as expected.
Okay. And interpreting an aspect involves
Looking at the nature of the planets involved, benefic, malefic, their general meanings, the type of aspect, hard, soft, and crucially, the houses those planets rule in the chart. The faster planet often brings the topics of the houses it rules to interact with, the slower planet's themes, and the house it occupies.
Sounds layered. The source also mentions reception and antitia, advanced stuff.
Bit more advanced, yeah. Reception happens when planets aspecting each other are in signs where the other planet has dignity, like its rulership or exaltation. It creates a connection, sometimes like one planet hosting the other. Mutual reception, each of the other's sign of dignity, is even stronger. Antitia and contra-antitia are like shadow or mirror points across the solstice, Cancer-Capricorn, or equinox, Aries-Libra axis. Planets at these mirrored degrees are considered connected, even without a standard aspect. They can bring hidden connections or influences.
Definitely more advanced. Let's move to planetary condition. How strong is a planet?
Exactly. It's about assessing a planet's ability to act effectively, for good or ill, in a specific chart. The main system is essential dignity.
Dignity. Like status.
Sort of. Its inherent strengths based purely on the sign the planet is in. There's a hierarchy, rulership, its home sign strongest, exaltation, a sign of special honor, triplicity, related to the element, term, and face. These derive from ancient models like the Thema Mundi and are considered fundamental. A planet with no essential dignity is peregrine.
So being in the right sign gives it power. What about weaknesses?
Those are essential debilities. Detriment, the sign opposite its rulership, and fall, the sign opposite its exaltation. These are signs where a planet is inherently challenged or weakened.
Okay, that's the sign-based strength. Then there's accidental strength or weakness.
Right. Accidental fortitudes are conditions that boost a planet's power based on its position and connections in that specific chart. Things like being in an angular house, 1st, 10th, 7th, 4th, being direct in motion, being swift, being well aspected by benefic planets, Venus, Jupiter, being visible, not too close to the sun, being near certain beneficial fixed stars.
So location, location, location.
And connections, yeah. Conversely, accidental enfeeblements weaken a planet. Things like being in a Caden house, especially 6th, 12th, 8th, being retrograde, moving slowly, being afflicted by malefic planets, Mars, Saturn, being combust, too close to the sun, being near difficult fixed stars.
So you weigh all this up.
You do. Some systems even assign points for each dignity and fortitude, and subtract points for debilities and enfeeblements to get an overall score of a planet's condition. It helps judge how effectively that planet can deliver on its promises, good or bad.
A whole system of planetary performance review. Okay, lastly, the source gives a quick overview of steps to interpret a birth chart. Where do you even begin?
Well, first step always is ensuring the birth data is accurate. Date, time, location. Get that wrong and the whole chart is off.
Crucial. Then what?
Then you'd typically assess the overall condition of all the planets using those essential and accidental dignities and debilities we just discussed. Get a sense of who the strong and weak players are.
Okay.
Identify the rising sign, Ascendant. That gives you the baseline flavor of the personality, the front door. Then locate the sun, its sign and house, show the core identity and purpose. Then the moon, its sign and house, reveal emotional needs, habits, inner world.
The big three: rising sun, moon.
Foundational, yeah. Then find the planet that rules the ascendant sign. That planet, the chart ruler, is a key significator for the person themselves. Where is it? What condition is it in? What aspects does it make?
So follow the ruler.
Definitely. Also, pay close attention to any planets actually in the first house, as they strongly color the personality and appearance.
Makes sense.
Then you'd systematically work through the other houses, looking at the sign on the cusp, the ruler of that sign. Where is it? What's its condition? And any planets located within that house. Those planets directly describe experiences in that area of life.
Systematically through the slices of life.
Right. Accidental factors are often assessed house by house, aspect by aspect. The source also mentions the almutin. That's a calculation to find the planet with the most essential dignity over a specific point, like the ascendant. It's another way to find key planets.
Or more layer.
And it notes that even things like triplicity rulership can shift depending on whether the chart is considered diurnal, sun above horizon, or nocturnal, sun below horizon. It gets detailed.
Wow. Okay, that was a lot. We've covered history, branches, chart parts, planets, signs, houses, aspects, condition. It's definitely an intricate system.
It really is.
Yeah.
Vast and interconnected. And remember, this was just scratching the surface, guided by the source you provided. A starting point.
Absolutely. So hopefully for you listening, this deep dive gives you a clearer framework for understanding Western astrology, its roots, its different applications, its basic language.
It's not just sun signs, clearly. There's a whole architecture there.
Definitely. So maybe a final thought to leave you with. Consider how this long history and these different branches, mundane, natal, electional, horary, offer such different lenses for looking at life, the world, and maybe even ourselves.
Yeah, what part of this deep dive really grabbed your attention? Did anything surprise you? What questions do you have now about how these ideas might actually play out? Something to ponder.